Okay, so the next little section, there are four topics, and it is about being able to evaluate functions, being able to input values into the function and find the value of the function. Did I say that right? Being able to put something in and get something out. That's all. Okay, in the real world and just with looking at equations. And that's what today is about. Okay, so the idea is, especially with notation, the only thing you got to get used to is new notation. Okay, so if you have a function, let's say I'm going to use simple. This is your first function. We're going to call this function machine f of x. Okay, let's call this function machine g of x. See, it doesn't really matter what their names is. It doesn't have to be f of x. And it doesn't even have to be x. So you could have also this function machine, which is h of p. I don't know, doesn't matter. But the idea is that you have an input and an output. So for this function, what's going to go in? An x. What's going to come out? F of x. So the way the notation works is that if you want to plug something in, what you do is you put it right here. Okay, the easiest way I can help you see this is like, let's say you wanted to find out f of 3. That means, see how the x is here? And now the 3 is there? What that means is that you are going to be plugging in a 3. X is equal to 3, so you're going to plug it in and see what spits out for 3. Okay? In here, how would the notation go? Let's say g of x. Let's actually make g of x something. Let's say it's 4x. Okay? G of x equals 4x. And maybe I should write that better. Let me see. I'll try to write that a little better. I know what I'll do. Okay. We're going to go g of x equals 4x. All right. So what goes in? X goes in. What gets spit out? G of x. Okay. So I will say, what is g of -1? What that means is that -1 is now your x. You're going to input it into the machine. It's going to go in, get multiplied by 4 because it's like, oh, look, I have a -1. I'm going to multiply by 4. And then what gets spit out is a -4. So that point right there would be -1, -4. Okay. Here, what has to go into this one? It's not x. In this case, it's p. And what gets spit out? H, or h of p. So I might ask you, what is h of 5? Okay. Let's give a value to h. Let's give some weirdoness to this, okay? Let's make h of p equal to 5 times star. I bring in shapes just to help you understand math sometimes because we get really caught up in numbers and letters and stuff, and they have to be this and they have to be that. They don't. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that we're going to input the 5 as x, okay, and then, okay, as p, sorry, as p. I actually should have done 5 star p. Sorry, I need to put a p in there. Hello. Okay, so what does that mean? I'm going to go 5 times star times p. What am I going to put in? P is equal to 5. So what do I do with that? I go 5 times star times 5. What gets spit out? 25 stars. That's it. It's just letters. It's just changing the letters, changing what we do. But just remember that the reality is that this is just y every time. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go. This is the next one. Wait, hang on. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the easiest one, or I should say the beginning one, is when you're just plugging them into one of these kind of functions. Okay, I'm going to show you on a calculator how to do this in case you're having trouble. I'm also going to show you to do it by hand. I will be twice as fast as you in my head, and you are plugging in points. If you know your multiplication tables, you are going to be, it's so much easier by hand. But if you don't, I'm going to show you how to do it in a calculator. So the first one is a line. Hopefully you guys recognize that. It's f of x equals negative 3x plus 2. And the second one is a cubic. It's g of x is equal to negative 3x cubed minus 2. And actually, I can take off myself. I don't need to be seen. Okay, so what did they say? They said find f of 6 and g of negative 3. What that means is I am going to be plugging in a 6 here into f, not into g, because it said f, and this is f. This is the function of x. So we're going to go f of 6 is equal to negative 3 times 6 plus 2, which is equal to negative 18 plus 2, which equals negative 16. So f of 6 equals negative 16. Take a look here. G of negative 3. Okay, this is one that people screw up all the time. Put negatives in parentheses when you substitute them in, even if you're doing it in your head. Okay, this means negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is negative 27, minus 2, 81, positive, negative times negative is a positive, minus 2, 79. So f of negative 3 equals 79. All right, if you don't know how to do that, here's the calculator. What you're going to do, oh, by the way, Desmos has a scientific calculator. It's pretty nice. So negative 3x cubed minus 2, and we're plugging in a negative 3. So you would go, yes, I know, go away, go away. Okay, so you would go negative, let me see. It's going to pop up every single time. Let's see, negative, no, it's not. Hey, that's nice. Negative 3x cubed minus 2. Okay, oops, look what I did. Negative 3x cubed minus 2. You guys are laughing. Probably you'll be like, wow, Miss Bach, can you not even remember a number? No, no, I can't. Okay, so negative 3. And then you can actually put that in to the calculator just like it looks. Here, cubed, okay? And then you need to go one step further. There you go. See how we're back down again? Plus 2 or minus 2? Minus 2. Was it minus 2? Was it? It was minus 2. Good. Yes. Yes, I know. Okay, minus 2, and then you hit answer. Oh, wait. Maybe don't hit answer. I don't know how to use the calculator. Let's see. Backspace, equals. Where's the dang equals? Maybe this is just equals. Okay, guys, here's the funny thing. How do you get it to make, oh, equals 79. It's way over here. What's it doing over there? All right, equals 79. So you could just put it in there, okay? And that is the best way to input it, especially when it's negative 3. And this calculator is bomb. Desmos Scientific Calculator, and that's how you would look it up. It is really awesome. All right, let's get back to this. Let's go to the next one, which is my blank screen, and then I got to go to the next one. All right, the next type of question here is function g is defined by x squared minus 1. Find g of 5a. That literally means you're going to take this 5a and you're going to substitute it in for x. Now, this is something you have to do by hand. So my recommendation for this is to write the equation first. Okay, then erase the x and plug in with parentheses whatever you're substituting in. See what happened? So we erase the x, we plug in the 5a, and then you solve the problem. So 5a times 5a, I'm going to go ahead and take that out, which is 25a squared minus 1. And that's it. Okay, so let's just say we had, don't do that, don't do that. Go back. I want to go back. Okay, 25a squared minus 1. Okay, let me just get back up to being big. Oh, hey, I could just hit this little blue button again. There we go. Okay, so take a look. What if I had P of Q equals Q times square minus Q, okay? And I tell you, find P of star. I like stars. What that means is that wherever there is a Q, you are going to plug in a star. So if you use my method of writing the original and then going back and erasing and then writing what you're replacing it with, okay? You could even do math with shapes. Right there is your answer, okay? All right, moving on. All right, so now you get a couple of these weird problems. And I shouldn't say they're not weird. They are just word problems. Again, read and reread until you understand it. But basically, you're just going to be plugging things into equations. It's not that hard. Finding outputs of a two-step equation with decimals that models a real-world situation. Remember, decimals are only allowed in real-world problems and graphing when you are asked to graph points. So Miguel rented a truck for 1 day. There was a base fee of $12.75. That's your starting. Now, we're not actually writing the equation. I think we did that last time. But there was an additional charge of 7 cents for each mile. So 0.07 M, I would have put, but they put X. Now they define the variables. They're telling you what the variables are. C is in dollars for driving X miles, given by the following function. So what it's telling you right here is that the cost is determined by the miles. I would have put an M. So the cost is determined by the number of miles. And then this is your equation. It says, what is the total rental cost if Miguel drove 30 miles? Well, that's basically just C of 30. They're just asking you to plug it in. That's all. So you go 0.07 times 30 plus 1275. And if you haven't realized this, 1275, if you haven't realized that they give you problems that are easy enough to do by hand, they do. Okay, but let's just go 0.07 times 30. Okay, so we go backspace. Okay, 0.07 times is also on the top of the A, 30. Okay, plus is on the top of the equal sign, 12.75. Now your calculator knows order of operations, so it knows which one to do first, and the answer is already over there. You don't even have to hit equals, it's 1485. And that's your answer. Let's go back here. It's 1485. So to drive 30 miles, it costs $14. C of 30, I shouldn't put that. $14.85. I hope I remembered that right, but if I didn't, whatever. So the idea is you're just plugging it in. That's all. I believe the next problem is very much like that. This is the last one for this particular section. Finding inputs and outputs of a two-step function that models a real-world situation function notation. So now instead, I don't know, it's basically the same thing. We're still in function notation. We were in function notation. So the Sugar Sweet Company is going to transport sugar to market. It will cost $7,500 to rent trucks plus $225 for each ton. Do you guys know that a ton is 2,000 pounds? You may not know that. And sorry, that's funny. Look at me, a little rectangle. Okay, the total cost, C in dollars. So they're telling you what C is for transporting N tons, telling you the number of tons is given by this function. If the total cost, okay, so now what they're doing is they're making you plug in both sides of the equation. So if the total cost is this, okay, so what are they giving you? You have to ask yourself, are they giving me C or N? You only have two variables here. And it says total cost is. So obviously they're giving you C, okay? How many tons? So they want to know N. They're like, what's N? Okay, in this case, what is the total cost? So here they're looking for C because they gave you tons. Okay, so what you do, write your equation. And then just substitute in. So the first one, we have to substitute for the cost. So we substitute it on this side. So subtract 7,500 from both sides. And we get 5, 7, 1, 5 equals 225n. Divide both sides by 225. Sorry, that's not what it looks like. That looks like an 8. It's not. 225. and not an N. Why don't I never put an N? That's silly. Okay, divided by, notice I did not do one long line, guys. Do you see that? So 5175 divided by 225. 5. No, my dear. Where's the clear? Yeah, go away. Go away, you. Okay, where's the clear? Oh, there's the clear. Clear. Okay, so 5175 divided by 225. I think that was the problem, and that is 23. Okay, so N is equal to 23. So the answer is 23 tons. Okay, 23 tons. Then he goes, what's the total cost? I'm going to switch colors for this just to give myself a little bit more room. I'm actually going to shrink this down. It says that what is the total cost of transporting 14 tons? Shrink this, move it over. Heck no, I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now what we do instead, we're plugging in for the tons. So same equation, C of N is equal to 7,500 plus 225N, except for this time we are finding C of 14, 7,500 plus 225 times 14. And we can go to our calculator. 7,500, 225 times 4. 225 times 14 is 3150. 3150 plus 7,500. And we will get 0, 5, 6, 10. There. C of 14 is equal to 10,000. And it's dollars, right? Yep, $10,000. All right. And that's it. That's all you're doing for this one.